Hey, what's up, guys? How you guys doing, man? This is my SmackDown review, and well, what can I say? This is my final review before I move. Probably gonna be a short and sweet one, so there's nothing. Sorry if I do what I did, but yeah. Anyway, this is the recap from what happened this past Friday when Vicky accused Edge of assaulting Teddy Long. That's how the night barely. They just showed a recap last week. Teddy Long comes out and then officially comes back, and then Vicky was forced to admit that that Dolph Ziggler assaulted Teddy Long, and which indeed was true, which it turned out. So it turned out Edge is not turning heel after all, and Edge did have his match against Dolph Ziggler, which he did put an end to the match, which was a quick match, and then he fired Dolph Ziggler. So apparently Edge celebrated goodbye, which did happen last week. So this is where Vicky talks. This is where Teddy Long's saying, "Oh, Vicky deserves to be fired, but he's gonna have Vicky fight for a job," which made it a tough night for Vicky Guerrero, basically. And she runs around the locker room pleading, begging people to have her next tag team matchup. Which Vicky Guerrero was looking for help and aid so she can keep her job. So apparently that was stipulation, which Teddy Long walks around with a smile on his face, taking off his glasses. So the night kicked off. Jude on the enemy, coming up the you know your enemy, coming up the enemy. He's searching, see what I rise. First is sacrifice, bursting from your eyes, in your eyes. Sing. So the night basically kicked off with Rey Mysterio having his match against Kane, which pulled off a heck of a match, and the end was a very surprising match. So basically Kane was dominating half the match, and then Edge was able to turn it around when Kane was about to chokeslam Edge. Rey Mysterio nailed a phenomenal sick count, which was just so incredible. He tried to do the chokeslam, I think. We tried to do the slam, and then he countered it, and then he got to the end where he did the most phenomenal counter, which was just so incredible. So Kane basically was this was just a good match. And, Kane and Rey Mysterio put off some great chemistry in the match. Despite Kane being far past his prime, this match was just so incredible. It was just a good match, I think, apparently so. So, Kane tries to nail the chokeslam, and then Rey Mysterio nailed a sick counter, which brought him to the 619, which was just so incredible. I thought this was just a phenomenal match, personally. This match was just very good. I was so into it for some reason while I was tweeting people on Twitter during the Extreme. That's my Twitter name. Please follow me on Twitter. And oh my word, Kane tries to powerbomb, but it turns into an upset win. So that was a very surprising win. So indeed, Dusty Rhodes comes out, and I thought he's gonna force Rey Mysterio to apologize to Cody Rhodes, but they try to do something ironic, which he is a friend to the family. So after that commercial break, Dusty Rhodes claims that Cody Rhodes has to apologize to Rey Mysterio, or Cody Rhodes. Dusty Rhodes asked his son Cody Rhodes to apologize to Rey Mysterio after what he did last week, and then Dusty Rhodes basically claims that Cody Rhodes his son was getting too distracted by his job because he wants to look more dashing, and that's what he basically talked about, how he wants him to look more dashing, how he was getting endorsement deals on Warehouse 13, Sci-Fi, and he was voted the most handsome, that he got very distracted and stuff. So Cody Rhodes apologized to his father, then Rey Mysterio and Dusty Rhodes shook hands, but looked like he forgot to put on his TV makeup right there. Really don't think so? Well, it kind of creeped me out. So he claimed that he was distracted. Which everyone saw a mile away. I forgot to say that everyone saw a mile away, which this was gonna happen, and everybody knew this was gonna happen. So this is where Rey Mysterio shook his hand, and I saw that coming. I saw that coming a mile away. He should just straight up challenge Rey Mysterio to a WrestleMania match. Dusty Rhodes smiling, and then when he's about to go, Dusty Rhodes yanks Rey Mysterio's hand, and then he smiles, and then, you know, that was the plan all along. So Cody Rhodes just beats the crap out of Rey Mysterio, and then that's how this whole thing turns about. That was so obvious. I mean, I thought Dusty Rhodes was going to assist on the attack and also beat him up, which was just very surprising. So, moving on after that, we had Dusty Rhodes and Cody Rhodes claiming that he was proud of his son. So, they were just very proud of him ripping Rey Mysterio's mask off. So, after that, we get a squash match. Two jobbers going at it. Layla is kind of improving in the ring. I mean, she did way better than Rosa Mendes, but this match was just very sloppy, I have to say the least. Like, look how... Like, Layla's been executing her moves more quicker. She's been very fast-paced, but this was just way too slow. Look how botched this is. Oh, my word. That was just so botched. This match was just so ridiculous. And then, you know, when she pushes Michelle McCool, Rosa Mendes into Michelle McCool comes out, brutalizes Rosa Mendes, and they just start fighting because, oh, you know, you're supposed to be helping. Why are you helping me out? I'm supposed to help you out. You need me, I need you, and man, that was just nothing. Like, why are they gonna stop trying to build this stupid cliffhanger suspense thing? Like, they're not gonna split up. Like, well, I doubt that's gonna happen. But who really cares about Lay Cool right now? No offense, but it's just they're always trying to do something big with them just because they had a big year in 2010, but now they're starting to slump in 2011. Like, they're not doing anything big. Like, they're trying to do something big with Lay Cool because they haven't had any crowd reaction, which, you know, the stare down led to the stare down, and, you know, proves that how much a flop they are. I kind of agree with Jay Vardy. Like, I didn't even knew they had no crowd reaction, because what stuff they're doing is just getting old. It's like, get Awesome Kong in there and become the Alliance there, and then just do something fresh. Like, I think it's time for them to get refreshed. Like, they need a new gimmick fast. Like, this is where they're doing this counseling. They're like, alright, it's time for a new gimmick. Like, this Lay Cool stuff is not working. Lay Cool is over. But, wow! Women of Winners comes out. Anyway, so after Elimination Chamber, Jack Swagger has his match against Kofi Kingston. I thought this match was good pace with Kofi Kingston, you know, having his huge upper hand, which indeed did happen. And then they recap from what happened. And this match I thought was good with Jack Swagger getting a huge upper hand. This match was very quick pace, and Jack Swagger moving quicker on the upper hands, which was just incredible, and which was kind of surprising that, you know, that Jack Swagger was able to pick up the win and get the ankle lock. Even though Kofi Kingston had the injured arm, Jack Swagger winds up damaging the ankle, and he tries to... I wish that Kofi Kingston tried the Trouble Paradise. Oh, he did. He missed, and which brought Jack Swagger to victory. That match was okay. It was very good. But when will Jack Swagger and Rey Mysterio have their match at WrestleMania? And who's going to be... DiBiase needs to win this year's Money in the Bank. I have to say this. When I make the next video, I got to make a video response to Jay Vardy. Ted DiBiase is one of the top 10 most misused wrestlers so far. Because with Goldust and DiBiase feud, he wound up going big, and they wound up going somewhere with this. But then after that, it's like nothing really happened, apparently, which was the case, and they didn't go anywhere, especially Xana's gone. Like, it wasn't worth it, but it was a good storyline though. But now they haven't been doing anything with DiBiase, indeed. So, good match though. And now look at Vicky Guerrero. Vicky Guerrero knocking on the general manager's door. I thought Edge was gonna come out and appear at the door, which indeed Vicky continued to knock and say Teddy, and she says this is not fair. This is a funny segment, and I thought, you know. Well, I'm going to talk about it later on, what's going to go on. But I really was hoping, you know, something big may happen. So, after this recap of John Cena and The Rock shebang, where John Cena trash talked The Rock, Vicky tries to go to his nephew, Chavo Guerrero, and Vicky, in which indeed he made Chavo Guerrero's personal goal for a while. She's trying to lock her sights on Dolph Ziggler, making her a love interest. So, you know, he haven't forgot what he did. So, Chavo says payback's so she's making Vicky suffer. which may show Chavo Guerrero showing a face turn in that segment, which indeed was the case. Oh my word, that was just rough. And I think this may be the time for Vicky to start going back to Raw. Vicky Guerrero, needs to go back to Raw. I think she could be the anonymous general manager. I think this is where they need to start building her again. Like they've been repackaging. They already repackaged her twice. It's like, is she trying to spend more time with her family? Because I think that's what she's doing, and I think that's the case. So I don't know if that's the case or whatnot. You never know. So apparently we get a Wade Barrett versus Big Show, which turned out to be an okay match, but I think we need a Big Show versus Ezekiel Jackson at WrestleMania. That's what I think needs to happen. So we have Big Show versus Wade Barrett. Big Show winds up getting the upper hand in the match. Wade Barrett tries to sleep a whole Big Show. That would have been a great win for Wade Barrett, but it turned out that backfired. And then, like, nearing the end, we get the count out, where I thought Wade Barrett was going to beat Big Show in the count out, but that wasn't the case. It wound up going the other way, which would have been cool for Wade Barrett to get a win on his own, but this looks like they're making Wade Barrett look weak now on SmackDown. It's like he's not the same as he was on Raw. On Raw, he proved to be the dominant force as the leader. So I think they are trying to... Whoa, what the heck? That backfired badly. That was just hilarious. So 10, Wade Barrett loses the match. He thought he was going to get that win. That was a good match, but the case was that Big Show won, which indeed did happen. So Big Show tries to beat up Wade Barrett furthermore. The Core comes out and saves Wade Barrett. They try to confront him. He knocks Justin Gabriel to the head with a steel chair, but that looks so botched, because why did Justin Gabriel run to the chair like this and go boom, which wasn't the case. So Justin Gabriel gets blasted to the head by Big Show. Big Show tries to take out the Core. It would be a great tag team match if they had Wade Barrett and CM Punk versus Big Show and Randy Orton. I want to see how Big Show and Randy Orton coordinate. Same thing as Wade Barrett and CM Punk. Well, mostly Wade Barrett and CM Punk. They've been feuding for a while. So hopefully it's the Ezekiel Jackson versus Big Show at WrestleMania. I would have that match go there. They could put off a good 8-minute match. Tear the house down. That would just be phenomenal. So hopefully you get Zeke versus Big Show. It would be great to have the push for Ezekiel Jackson. So after all that, we get Undertaker Triple H confrontation. So after that, we have this whole confrontation, and then we have the main event: Drew McIntyre and Vicky Guerrero versus Edge and Smelly Kelly, or Kelly Kelly, which was indeed. So moving on, we have Vicky Guerrero versus Kelly Kelly. Kelly Kelly just basically beats the crap out of Vicky Guerrero, which was no surprise. Drew McIntyre comes in, and ironically, Drew McIntyre and Kelly Kelly, has had their thing going on, and then Kelly Kelly, buzzes off Drew McIntyre for the past couple of weeks after Drew took a liking and an interest into Kelly Kelly. Well, apparently it did happen. Edge and Vicky had an old fling, so what I tweeted was, this is kind of ironic. So this was kind of an ironic interest in the mixed tag team match, because intergenders, had their own history towards each other, the opponents. So which was just good. Drew McIntyre, Edge just put on a heck of a match. This match was so good. Whoa, Vicky was just skipping a heartbeat. This match was just so phenomenal. And I really thought Drew McIntyre would just dominate most of the match so far. And I think this would just be so incredible if that was to happen. But indeed that did happen. Edge and McIntyre. I think McIntyre deserves a push right there. Because with Late Cool getting this main event push, alongside with Vicky Guerrero and Dolph Ziggler, Kelly Kelly now getting a main event push. I don't think this is the end of Vicky Guerrero, really. This has just been phenomenal. Kelly Kelly got a great push into the main event with Edge. They're trying to push Kelly Kelly more. I think Kelly Kelly would be a great manager of Edge. But, Edge, trying to nail the spear. Vicky was just pleading Edge to not spear McIntyre so she could keep her job. But that wasn't the case. We got the surprising spear from Smelly Kelly, but she botched that spear. Let's see that again. Was that botched or what? Like, whoa. Well, she didn't do it perfectly, but Vicky didn't want her back to be slammed, so that looked okay, but it was botched. And then, oh my word, Drew McIntyre got the spear, and oh my word, how did they execute? How did she execute that? I don't believe it, man. I really don't, man. I thought Drew McIntyre got the win and saved Vicky's job, but it turned out it's going to turn into a long time cutscene. Teddy Long comes out and just comes out happy and prancing. And, you know, the fact of the matter is that we're going to see what happens. And, you know, Teddy Long is basically going to do what he's going to do. And we all know what's coming. This is so obvious. Vicky crying in tears, which was just so oddly hilarious. And then they probably did this whole 9-minute skit where Vicky just comes around and start begging for her job back, which wasn't very surprising. So, indeed, Teddy Long, you know, has to say the words. And Vicky, you know, just pleading Teddy that, you know, she really apologizes for why she did what she did, but it was fake. She's probably going to continue to do what she do because, you know, like, why? Vicky can't be fired. Like, Vince McMahon instated Vicky as the consultant of SmackDown. So, I'm thinking, like, this is ridiculous. Vicky has to go be the Raw consultant. Like, I think she did deserve this whole push. Because if Vicky is gone, SmackDown would just be boring. Because they don't have any interesting heels like they've been having with Teddy Long. Teddy Long and Vicky pull off a great rivalry. So, apparently, Vicky and Teddy... So Taylor says the words, "You're fired" to Vicky Guerrero. And then they do this long cutscene where she winds up pleading the ref, pleading Booker T. He's like, "You gone, you fired." So Booker T celebrates. She pleads Michael Cole, and Michael Cole has so much remorse for Vicky Guerrero, and he wished he could do what he do. So Michael Cole probably could step in, get Vicky to Raw. I think Vicky deserves to go to Raw, and then get involved with her feud with Jerry Lawler. That would be a phenomenon. I think Vicky deserves a trip to Raw Monday night. So hopefully Michael Cole reinstates Vicky Guerrero. Now Vicky goes to the video camera. This is just... My mom was watching this. This is just something entertaining and worth watching. Oh my word. This has just been the stupidest, longest cutscene I ever seen, where she just goes around begging for her job back. Oh my word. Oh my word. This is just odd. This has just been very odd. And then Vicky starts pleading Edge. Like... sorry if I go long on this, but this has been the longest, most silliest cutscene I've ever seen. So, you know, Edge Vicky pleads Edge, because they did a history together, especially last year, when Edge brought Vicky as the permanent general manager, but resigned because she thought she was going to get attacked by Randy Orton. And then Vicky, you know, was general manager, and that's when the fling started with Edge and Vicky Guerrero. So they did have a phenomenal relationship. So Vicky did fire Edge. So why Edge return the flavor?
I can't help you. I can't help you get your job back, Trey.
Seems like Edge is gonna psych. Like, why is he gonna get his job back? So Vicky winds up angry then. Indeed, this is how the night kicked off. So seems like Edge wants to sing songs to suit the soul. So Vicky just continues to plead. So Edge is again, da 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 da. Hey, hey, hey. Goodbye. Christian and Edge have been the king of that goodbye song. Da 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 da. I love that song. Hey, hey, hey. Goodbye, bye, goodbye, 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 goodbye. So then Vicky walks out and starts screaming, then Alberto Dorito comes out and beats up Edge, that was the random night. Alberto Dorito comes out and beats up Edge. Hopefully it's for Vicky Guerrero, but I don't think that's the case. So Alberto Dorito continues to beat him up. Christian doesn't even show up. So hopefully, Christian didn't even show up to SmackDown, which one thing we didn't realize is that, you know, there was, like, Christian didn't even show up one bit. Like, he didn't show up to fend off Edge or Del Rio. He didn't fend off Del Rio, and now this is how the night ended. That was just rough. And, man, hopefully Christian comes back by next week. Hopefully bring out Awesome Kong, because Rosa Mendes and Layla wasn't that good of a match. And the match, for the first time, a Diva match ended in disqualification. Like, like Cole isn't that big anymore. Like they have such a big gimmick and they're dying out. Bert Del Rio, you know, have a good build up for the match. So hopefully Edge does win the world champion indeed. So and Christian needs to come out next week. I think this is how SmackDown can get built up. I think this is how next week can get even better. Vicky can go to Raw and, you know, be in the middle and manage Michael Cole in the match involving Jerry Lawler. She can get involved in that situation, and then she could reveal to be the anonymous general manager, or she could lie about being the anonymous general manager, which would be great. So hopefully she comes to Raw. The Bert Del Rio Edge having a good build up. I think Christian should have fended her off. It would have been even better, but I don't think that was the case. So yes, this is my review. Please subscribe to me. Leave your comments below. And I'll be showing you my new apartment once I start moving. I am moving tomorrow indeed, so which is the case. So with Vicky, you know, losing her job, which was just the roughest part, and now Alberto Del Rio, you know, still building up this heat before WrestleMania, which is just gonna do a lot indeed. So yes, this is my video. This is the Red Dog Extreme, and I am taking you to the extreme.